Okay, I also just realized my phone's directly in the sun, so it's probably gonna overheat any minute now. In today's video, I am in another random neighborhood. Yay! Again, hi, I'm Chloe. Thank you for being here. I am doing another talking video in the car where I overshare a little bit and, you know, do things. If you guys like this series that I've just started doing, because it seems like you guys like it and people were asking for more of them, so I'm gonna keep doing them. But if you guys want to see anything else from me too, just like let me know down in the comments. I do read all of them. I read all the comments, and I really like when people have funny comments too. That's like, love that. Okay. Let's see. So yes, I am in a random neighborhood, and this one's a really quaint, some beautiful houses here. Once again, I am extremely nervous that somebody is going to see me. Oh, why are these people stopping next to me? God damn it. Just when I say I'm nervous. Okay, he's getting out the car to do something else. Oh my god. I am so scared they're gonna come up to my window and be like, what are you doing? Are you waiting for someone? Like, why are you sitting in your car? It's hot now. And I'm gonna be like, I'm filming a YouTube video. No. Promise. I'm not talking to myself. This road is kind of busy. A lot of cars driving by. It's getting kind of hot, so I'm gonna take this off. Feels like summer. I didn't think days like this would happen for another couple weeks, but here we are. It's currently 4:02 p.m. It is May 23rd. I got a little bit more dressed up today, guys. I don't really have a reason, I just felt like it. Okay, in today's video of oversharing in a car to actually read something from my notebook, this wrote down some talking points so I can be a little bit more cohesive and a little easier to get my thoughts across, because sometimes when I just like free speak, I go on all these different ways and I'm just like, wait, I actually think this and I think this and I think it's gonna help me just be able to actually communicate better through the screen, because it's actually hard to communicate when like I can't see a person's face. I just have to imagine you guys are like, wow, oh my god, let me write that down. Yes, amazing. Let me like this video, subscribe, let me comment. So much positivity, yay. Okay, that's me imagining. Anyway, what I'm actually gonna do here is start talking about what I wrote down in my bullet points, because now I'm getting off track because I'm free speaking. So to get us started today, I want to talk about fear of missing out. So I'm sure all of us have felt at one point in our lives FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's when, you know, your friends all decide to go out, or they go to like an amusement park or something, or traveling, and you see everybody out doing those things, and all of a sudden you're like, I need to be there, and why am I not there? I'm missing out. I'm missing out on life. A lot of people have it. Some people don't give a shit, and I am kind of in the middle ground where I, on most days, probably don't care if I'm like not somewhere everybody else is, or I'm not doing something everybody is. I'm not really caring, but I do particularly get the feeling of missing out in other ways, and it's a little bit deeper, I think, a little bit, not to be like, oh, those things aren't deep, those feelings, but what I'm saying is the fear of missing out that I'm talking about today is a little bit more psychological and more driven towards success and career. Fear of missing out. I wrote down here in my notes, being afraid to step into that revolving door, plus the fear of not stepping into it. So what I'm trying to talk about here is this fear that I have, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, is the fear that almost like a revolving door, it's going around and around, and you're standing there and you're looking in and you're thinking, I have to get in there. I have to get in there and start walking around the door, and then I have to exit. and choose that thing. You know, like in my mind, this is a part of what I'm going to say fear of missing out. Because sometimes it feels like I'm standing at this door, I'm watching it spin, I'm watching the revolving door go round and round, I'm thinking I have to jump in there, I have to jump in so I can make it through to the other side. And I'm afraid to just jump into it, and I'm afraid to do it. And I'm also equally afraid not to. I'm equally afraid not to get in and step in there as I am to do that thing, to actually step in. Because on both ends, you'd be missing out, but you don't know what the outcome will be. It's also the feeling of being stuck. There's two big decisions: to do it, to not do it, to be or not to be. That is the question. No, so there is those big questions of, do I get in there? Do I jump in? And you don't know where it's going to take you, or if you're going to succeed, or if you might fall in the revolving door, you might trip, or you might make it out completely fine, or it's whatever. Or you stay there and you stay wondering. You stay standing there and you stay looking in, and you never get in. For me, the fear is in both places a lot of the time, and I feel like sometimes I will just like poke my head in and I'll poke it out. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I get that feeling from it too, but that makes me afraid because I'm not fully committing to it, which means I haven't fully experienced what I could get, or I haven't fully gotten anything from that. I haven't learned, I haven't achieved, and there was nothing I could actually proudly say from it. This type of feeling holds us back from reaching our full potential. So we're holding ourselves back from reaching our full potential. And that is scary. It's scary to think, I'm missing out on reaching these things because I'm afraid. Like, it's just this loop that it's hard to break out of that loop. But you can. And you know you can. So why don't you? Moreover, I think if I had to weigh one or the other, I'd be more afraid of not stepping into action. And I am afraid to not do something more than I am to do it, because at least when you do it, when you step into action, you know what happens. I think when you're stuck wondering, your mind can go to the most infinite possibilities out there, and you will always be stuck wondering what if. That to me is scarier than knowing, because when you know what happened, and you know the outcome, and you've tried. And that, even that step of just doing it, to actually stepping into action, is something you can always be proud of, and you can always wear on your sleeve or tell people that I did it. Even if you were to fail, or if you were to not fully succeed or not meet your expectations for that thing, at least you will always know that you did it, and you can say you tried, and you can be proud of that. On the other hand, when you don't do it, when you're just standing there thinking about what could happen if you did that thing, then there's not much you can actually say for that. There's not many things that you can say when you're just being the one standing there looking in, that you can fully be very proud of. You know, it's almost just like the thought that you had, that it's like imagine telling people, oh, I'm thinking about doing this thing. They're like, okay, that's cool, you should do it, right? Because it's always cooler to do it. And you know, you should definitely think about these things and be practical and be choosy and responsible. But I think it's important, when you really think that you want to get somewhere in life, or you want to achieve that thing, and you really want that thing, that's like, you know, you want to buy your own house one day, or you want to go out with this person, or you want to fix your thinking patterns, or you want to travel to this place, or you want to succeed in that career, any of those things, anything, I forgot where I was going with that, but for example, for me, right now, like actually right now, I currently feel I am taking a chance by my actions of filming in this car right now for YouTube, for my YouTube channel here. I feel like I am taking this chance. I am taking this action for this idea of what my life I want it to become. And it is scary. It's not easy, and it does take a long time and a lot of growth and a lot of just finding the right people like you guys watching. Like I was saying in my first oversharing in a car that I'm doing this for so long, and it's been such a slow growth, you know? But I feel like we're starting to do this. I don't want to jinx anything, because again, that's scary, but this is something that I've just always loved to do because it's like creative, and I am a big creative person. I'm also very, you know, academic, so like I'm both like A, B, I don't know if you'd actually call it that, but I'm both have these two brains, and YouTube is just such a creative outlet for me, and I just love it. And so I'm so happy that I've continued to do it, and that people are now starting to find me, and people that actually want to respond to my content and want to like connect with me, or just they want to hear my stories, or just want to hear me, or whatever it is, whatever you are getting out of this video. I'm just so happy that you've made it here and you found me, and I've found you, I guess. I don't know, but it's really cool. And I guess I've talked about this a lot, but I'm just like, I think this thing is so cool for even watching this video and supporting me again. I've said that so many times in all of my videos recently, but I'm just, thank you. Let's keep going. Currently, this action that I'm taking, I feel like it is right on time, and it is in a good direction. And that to me is so important. I love feeling like I'm right on time and it's in a good direction. Like, what a great feeling. Who doesn't like that, right? Doesn't it feel great to feel like you're right on time? Because so often I feel like I'm not on time. And I'd rather be on freaking time. What I mean is, it's taken me this long to get to this point where, you know, I've had to go through phases of what kind of editing I want to do, or go through phases of what I want to do on YouTube, or go through phases of what I want to like talk about or appear like or show. And I've had to go through like a long time of just like slowly learning that. Yeah. It's so crazy. I literally shut down when people come near me when I'm filming it by myself, but it's fine. We'll get over it. So additionally, I want to talk about letting go of pressures. Pressures that are self-induced, that are family-induced, societally induced, all of these kinds of pressures. I'm trying to let go. I want to preserve these feelings of pressure to the point it affects my ideas or my choices. I want to feel free, and I want free will to thrive in me, as I had when I was a barefoot child. That's what I wrote down. Okay. I want to let go of these pressures that I feel, so I can have my free will thrive. So I can feel like I did when I was a kid, where I didn't even think about any of these pressures. Because when I was a child, oh, hold on. Because as a child, as I'm sure almost all of us felt as a child, there was almost no clue where our imagination or visualizations would take us. Acting through faith in myself alone as a child. As a child, I was always just going around, just willy-nilly, things are gonna work out, I'll be fine. Let's try that thing, like no idea, no clue about what even all of it was going on, right? Because there was also no feeling of pressure from anybody or anything, really. I mean, maybe of course small things, but to me there was nothing that was so weighing heavily on my mind that I had to be, making money, or I had to make sure I appeared blah blah blah, like I had a good appearance, as a child. Like there was no thought of that for me. And I'm gonna try to speak more personal here, because I don't know how it was for everybody else, because obviously everybody has these differing everybody has a differing experience and their own unique perspectives. But this practice of letting go of pressures is something that I have been taught and that I have learned. And it is still a practice that I have to overly remind myself each day in my current adult self. I'm always getting reminders from my environment, or fill in the blank. I'm always getting reminders of what is expected of me in both, the physical and the energetic side of things. Like sometimes people don't need to say things, but you can tell that there's an expectation there, and that adds pressure. So letting go of these pressures is a working art, and a thing that requires you to be self-aware of and tell yourself, hey, let it go. And it's not easy, of course, very hard thing to do, but that's why it takes practice, right? And it takes learning. So this leads me into my next topic, which is practices. As I age and the frontal lobe forms, I'm getting into the realization I had when I was 15. Yes, 15, when I was a teenager. My habits and lifestyle then were critical to my identity, and those habits and lifestyles that I have now are critical to my identity still. Going through school, settling into my relationships, instilling comfortable habits into my routines, playing the waiting game, have all replaced many things in my life since that younger age. And many of those things that they have and had replaced, those things that were replaced, I still want. And I forgot why I ever wanted them in the first place. And I'm slowly remembering why. It was, okay, my phone did overheat, so I had to move to a move? I had to move. No, I had to move to a different spot in this neighborhood because I needed some shade so my phone wouldn't explode. So here we are. Lighting is a little bit worse here, but it'll do. It's not bad. Okay, I think I was here. So gonna keep going. We're almost done. This is my last topic of the video. And I love to hear things from you guys too, so let me know. Practices. Okay, so like losing interest, the things I have replaced them with are reflective of my environment. So what I'm saying is the things that I have, like the habits and the lifestyle that I have now versus what I had before when I was younger, practices and habits that I wish I still had now and I want back. I think that a lot of these habits and lifestyle changes are because of my environment change. So I've changed environment from a urban, rural one to a city, to a big city. And these two different environments have replaced habits and lifestyles that I had in like almost two different lives. And where I'm at now, living in the city, a lot of the habits that I used to have back in that rural urban area, I want back now. I want those habits back. And I need to find a way to adapt them into my current life in a way that works, in a way that is sustainable. Things like, I used to do yoga every single day. I used to want to be a yoga teacher. I used to eat a little cleaner, cook a little bit more variety of foods. But I have learned some new bussin' recipes now. So actually, maybe scratch that one. I think I'm pretty good there. I think that habit that I've learned can stay. But definitely when it comes to yoga, just for example, that's like what's popping into my head the most. And just the whole lifestyle and the whole space that is surrounded in yoga. It's the spiritual one. It's very pragmatic and it's very calming. It's a great workout too. So I really want to get back into doing that more and really celebrating more of that part of me that is really important to my identity. Cars, don't they know I'm filming? God damn. Like, yoga for me for a long time was my identity, and the love that part of me that comes out after a practice in yoga, or that part of my brain that switches on, practice itself into my lifestyle, like just the thought patterns and just like everything that comes along with yoga, like the meditation and the snowball effect of what happens when you start to change your routine. The yogi lifestyle. I even read some books on being a yogi, and I want to get that back, damn it. The environment that you live in has such a strong seduction on your lifestyle and on your habits. And that is why it is also so important to make your environment, or is best to your ability, to live in an environment that brings you joy and brings you inspiration, makes you happy, as well as surround yourself an environment that, again, yeah, this brings you inspiration, brings you joy, makes you motivated, makes you want to get up and do things. You know, the environment's so goddamn important. The environment in so many ways, and so many different meanings for environment. God damn it. Protect the environment, guys. It's not that hard. Okay, finally, in the city. In the city. In the city. Yeah. Back on topic. Anyway, in the city, I feel more pull to stay indoors and to the indoors in general, where I can do about my business. And usually in the city, it's always drawing me inside. So like always inside of, you know, a coffee shop or your room, your work. You know what I mean though, hopefully. I'm always drawn in a city to the indoors. And that again is different to my past environments. Not saying it's like worse or anything. I'm just saying it's different. Perfect for my next point. In the city, silence is rare. Very rare to have silence. Exactly. There's always something going on. There's always a noise, and it's always a human noise. And you really never have pure silence. Even at night, even at the sleepiest time of night, there is still freaking noise. The cars never stop. Some people are always awake. Usually it just gets drowned out. You know, it's like white noise. You know, you don't even really notice it. Like back home, visiting my parents, I was surrounded with silence. And it was daunting. it was silent. And those first couple of days that it was just so quiet, it made me feel so weird. But then after a couple of days, I was like, oh yeah, I used to have this all the time, and I actually love this. Like, I love the silence. Like, I can actually hear myself think. Aspect when you live in a city or in an urban rural area is just those little things that you don't care to think about on the day-to-day when you live in an area that becomes white noise or brown noise. Those things that you take for granted present themselves as things that you miss when you are in a different environment. Before you even know it, your habits and your lifestyle has changed. Like I was saying, is those practices that you had in that environment sometimes don't always fit exactly in your new one. But that doesn't mean those habits that you have are not important to you and that you want to keep. Like for me, I want to keep a lot of those same habits that I've had and adapt them and instill them back in my life, because I loved the kind of person that I was, and I loved my identity because of those habits and lifestyles that I'm gonna keep working on doing that. Everyone that clicked on this video perhaps feels this to some extent. You feel this to some extent where you understand what I'm saying about how sometimes you can think back and think, damn, I am so happy I don't have that habit in my life anymore. Like, yes, I got it out. And there are some things that you're like, God, I wish I still did that. What the heck? And so I think you guys can relate to this. At least I hope so. Last but not least, in the city also there's distractions and entertainment is everywhere. There's even more to take advantage of here, and that is a double-edged sword. And that's all I wrote down. So much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate every single one of you that have stayed to this point and listened. At the end of all my videos, I want to have people leave and feel better, just a little bit better about yourself. So you are amazing. You got this. You can do anything you set your mind to. You can practice and instill old habits that you want back into your life, and you can practice and instill new habits that you want into your life. It all just comes down to you. All right, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna try. I don't care if I fail. I'm gonna step into that revolving door. Like, how special is it that you are even here right now watching this video? Take this as a freaking sign. You are amazing and you can do it. And just let go of the pressures that you put on yourself or as put on you. Let go of these pressures through practices that you can find through reading self-help books. I can list them in another video if anybody wants to know about which ones I read to help me begin this journey. You can do it through a lot of different ways, but the first step is always to acknowledge. Very first step. And so if you can just do that, which I know you can because you clicked on this video, then I know you can do anything. So yes, thank you guys so much again. I'll be here for a while and you can expect videos from me weekly, hopefully. And yes, please let me know if you like this series of oversharing in a car and if you want to see more of them. And also, if you have questions that you personally want me to try to answer, please leave them down below. So yes, you rock. Sub, like, com. Nope. Literally one day. Okay. Please stay. Please stay on the dashboard, please. 2020. Seriously, you can't be serious. Like, how, what the fuck? Have more. Oh my god. Okay, hold on.